My son cut my car brakes 3 weeks before his 36th birthday. He started slipping something into my sleeping pills 2 months before that. And he'd been planning to split a $500,000 life insurance payout with his girlfriend for 6 months. But there was one thing he didn't know. For those entire 6 months, every single night, I knew everything. And I was collecting evidence. And the day before his birthday, when he looked me dead in the eye and said, "The best gift you could ever give me, Mama, is your death," I smiled and said, "All right, baby. I'll give you what you want." But I wasn't the one who died. My name is Loretta Mae Washington. I'm 68 years old. I'm a retired nursing assistant. And I spent 42 years walking hospital corridors in Chicago, taking care of patients. I was born in a small farming town in Kentucky. We were poor, but we had our dignity. My daddy worked in the coal mines. And my mama took care of neighborhood children for spare change. I got into nursing school when I was 18. During the day, I washed dishes at a diner. At night, I studied. When I finished that 2-year program and got my nursing assistant certification, my mama cried and said, "You're the first professional in our family, Loretta." I came up to Chicago when I was 21. One hand holding a beat-up suitcase, the other holding my certificate. Got a job at Chicago Memorial Hospital. The pay wasn't much, but I was happy. Taking care of patients, being a small comfort to people in pain that felt like my calling. I met William Washington when I was 25. He was a firefighter. I first saw him in the hospital emergency room. He'd brought in an elderly woman he'd rescued from a fire. His face was black with soot, but his eyes were clear and warm. 6 months later, we got married. It was a small ceremony at First Baptist Church on the South Side. William's firefighter brothers and my hospital co-workers came. We didn't have a honeymoon, couldn't afford to take time off. But we were happy. Brandon was born when I was 27. May 14, 1989, at 3:22 in the morning. Happiest moment of my life. When I held that little life in my arms, everything in the world made sense. William cried. This tough firefighter cried like a baby looking at our son. "Let's give our boy everything we never had, Loretta," he said. "The best education, a stable future, every opportunity." And we did. Or we tried to. When Brandon was 5, fate hit us hard. November 3, 1994. A day I'll never forget. William responded to a building fire. 3 firefighters got trapped inside, and William went back in to get them out. He saved 2 of them. But when he went for the 3rd, the 2nd floor collapsed. The hospital called me while I was on my night shift. Ironically, it was the same hospital emergency room where I worked. My husband was brought to the very place where I'd been working. I ran, sprinted down that hallway. When I saw him, I knew. Through the oxygen mask, he looked at me, reached out his hand. "Loretta, Brandon, take care of him." That was it. At 33 years old, leaving behind a 5-year-old son, leaving me alone. The funeral was solemn. The whole Chicago Fire Department came. Flag-draped coffin, the national anthem, 21-gun salute. Brandon sat on my lap. Not understanding, asking, "Mama, when's Daddy coming home, Daddy's?" Daddy's a hero now, Brandon. He's watching over us from heaven. That night, after Brandon fell asleep, I sat on the bathroom floor and cried. I stuffed a towel in my mouth so he wouldn't hear me. The next morning, I looked in the mirror. A 27-year-old widow with a 5-year-old son. $2,300 in the bank account. Rent was $850, plus living expenses, plus daycare. That day, I made a decision. I wouldn't fall apart. I'd make sure Brandon didn't become a child who lost his father. He'd become a child who saw his mother's strength. William's life insurance came through. $150,000. It was a lot of money, but I couldn't spend it carelessly. That money was Brandon's future. I opened a separate account for his college fund. I worked alternating day and night shifts at the hospital. 6 days a week, sometimes 7. When Brandon was in school, I worked days. During summer break, I worked nights. A neighbor lady watched him at night. I'd come home exhausted, but I'd make Brandon dinner. Helped him with homework, read to him, tucked him into bed, kissed his forehead. "Love you, Mama. Love you too, Brandon. You're my everything." Brandon was a good boy. At least until elementary school ended. Teachers praised him. Polite, smart, helpful with his friends. Middle school was when things started changing. 12, 13 years old. Puberty. His friends came in with designer sneakers. Brandon wore shoes from the discount store. His friends had the latest game systems Brandon didn't. "Mama, why are we poor?" he asked me one day. Broke my heart. "We're not poor, baby. We have everything we need. We got a home, food, and we got each other." Kids make fun of me. They say my clothes look weird. They say my shoes are cheap. That night, I signed up for extra night shifts. Bought Brandon those Nike shoes. $120. That was my grocery money for a week, but for my son's smile, I'd do it. But that was just the beginning. Brandon wanted more. More expensive clothes, better phones, more allowance. In high school, I started working weekends at a nursing home for extra money. Needed it for Brandon's college. My body was reaching its limit. I was 45 but felt 60. My knees hurt, my back hurt, getting up every morning was agony. But I couldn't stop. 2011, Brandon got accepted to college. Private school, business major. I cried tears of joy. "Don't you worry about tuition, baby. Mama's got it covered." His father's insurance money was there, but it wasn't enough for 4 years. I took out loans in my name for the difference. Brandon would pay it back after graduation. During those 4 college years, I worked even more. His dorm fees, living expenses, books, everything. When he came home during breaks, he'd ask for money. To travel with friends, to buy a car. I gave it all. I ate less, didn't buy new clothes, delayed my own medical care. 2015, Brandon graduated. I attended the ceremony wearing my old clothes. Other parents wore suits, but my best outfit was a 15-year-old black dress. When Brandon walked across that stage to receive his degree, I cried. "William, our boy did it. Our son. Now you gonna get a job and let mama rest a little, right?" I asked after graduation, half joking, half serious. "Mama, who gets jobs these days? I need to start a business. Be an entrepreneur." My heart sank. "Brandon, baby, get some experience first. Mama, you're old school. You don't understand how the world works now." The first business was an online clothing store. Needed $30,000 to start. I took out a loan in my name. Went under in 6 months. The second was a delivery app. $50,000. Failed in a year. The third was a consulting company. Office rent alone was $3,200 a month. I paid it. Closed after 18 months. Every time, Brandon came back. "Mama, next time will work. Just help me this once." And I helped. Always. 2018, when I was 62, my body gave out. Needed knee surgery. But I didn't have the money. Insurance covered part of it, the rest was on me. $8,000. I told Brandon. "Brandon, baby, mama needs surgery. My knee hurts so bad I can barely work. Mama, I'm struggling too right now. The business capital. Brandon, mama's in pain. I know, mama, but right now I really can't. Next month." Next month never came. I postponed the surgery, managed on painkillers, and kept working, limping through my shifts. 2019, Brandon introduced his girlfriend. Crystal, 28 years old, bartender. Heavy makeup, tight clothes, cold eyes. When we first met, we shook hands. Her hands were soft. Never worked a day hands. "Nice to meet you, Mrs. Washington. Brandon's told me so much about you." She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "Nice to meet you too, Crystal. Take good care of my boy." That evening, when Brandon and I were alone, I asked carefully. "Crystal, she a good person, mama, what? You don't like her?" "No, it's not that. She just seems so young and..." "Mama, it's my life. I decide who I date." I didn't say more. After Crystal came around, Brandon asked for money even more often. Crystal's birthday present, trips with Crystal, restaurants. Crystal wanted to try. "Brandon, mama's got to think about retirement now. I'm 65. I know, mama. But right now things with Crystal are at a critical stage." 2020, the pandemic hit. The hospital became hell. I was on the front lines. A 65-year-old nursing assistant, high risk, but I showed up every day. Because somebody had to. Brandon never called once. Never asked if I was safe, if I was healthy. Instead, I got a text. "Mama, lost my job because of the pandemic. Can you help with rent? I helped. From my hazard pay. 2022, I retired. 67 years old. My body couldn't take anymore. Knees, back, shoulders, everything was broken down. My retirement pension was $2,100 a month. Not much, but enough for me alone. The problem was Brandon. Mama, now that you're retired, you got savings, right? Let me try one more business. Last one, I promise. Brandon, Mama doesn't have savings. Spent it all on you. You lying. Daddy's insurance money. That money went to your tuition. Then at least use the house as collateral. Brandon, this house is where Mama's gonna live until she dies. His face hardened. Something changed after that day. November 2023, strange things started happening. I had sleeping pills I took every night. Had insomnia. But one day, something felt different. After taking the pill, I'd sleep too deeply. And the next morning, my head would hurt like it was splitting open. At first, I thought it was my age. Or maybe the pills were too strong. But one time, I woke up. Middle of the night, around 2 a.m. My bedroom door was slightly open. And there was a shadow in the hallway. Who's there? I called out. Oh, Mama, it's me, Brandon. Just getting some water. Brandon? Why you here? Just checking to see if you're sleeping well, Mama. You said you've been having insomnia. Back then, I thought it was him being a good son. December, Brandon made a suggestion. Mama, you should get life insurance. At your age, you need it. Insurance? Brandon, I don't have any assets to leave behind. Still, Mama, at least for funeral costs. I looked into it. There's a good policy. $300 a month for $500,000 coverage. $500,000? Don't need it that big. Mama, you know how much funerals cost these days? And if you end up in the hospital long term, there's that cost too. I don't want to be burdened. That's why you need it. I thought he was being a good son. First time he seemed to worry about me. I got the insurance. Beneficiary Brandon. January 2024, something went wrong with my car. The brakes weren't smooth. When I pressed them, there was a delay. At first, I figured the car was just old. 2012 Toyota Camry. But it got worse. Even when I pressed the brakes, the car wouldn't stop right away. I took it to a mechanic. Mrs. Washington, this is serious. Your brake line is leaking oil. If you keep driving like this, it's dangerous. Oil leaking? How could that? Look here. This part is almost completely severed. This ain't wear and tear. Like somebody deliberately. My heart stopped. Deliberately? Oh no, that can't be. I mean, maybe you ran over something sharp. But the strange thing is, the cut is too clean. Just fix it. How much? $850. My monthly food and utilities budget. But I got it fixed. At home, I thought about it. Who? Why? That night, Brandon came over for dinner. He'd been coming often lately. 3-4 times a week. Mama, your car okay? It's old. Maybe time to replace it? Got it fixed at the mechanic. Brakes were acting up. Brakes? What was wrong with them? Oil was leaking. But the mechanic said it was strange. The cut was too clean. Brandon's face froze for 1 second. Very briefly. Then he smiled right away. Nah, just an old car. Don't worry about it. That night, I couldn't sleep. The next day, normally I would have taken my sleeping pill. But I didn't. Instead, I turned off the light and lay down. Staying awake. Midnight passed. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. 2:15 a.m., my bedroom door slowly opened. I held my breath, eyes closed, footsteps, coming toward my bed. I could hear breathing, right above my face. Then a whisper, she's sleeping. Brandon's voice. I heard something, a pill bottle opening, my sleeping pills on the nightstand. Sounds of pills being poured. Tap, tap, then closing the bottle again. Footsteps moved away, door closed. I waited another 30 minutes. Then quietly got up and went to the nightstand. Picked up the pill bottle. Shook it. Seemed like there were more pills than usual. Opened the cap and smelled it. Strange chemical smell. Took out a few pills with trembling hands. They looked different. The color was slightly whiter, the size subtly different. My son was putting something in my medicine. That night, I went to the bathroom and threw up. Silently, hand over my mouth. My son was trying to kill me. The next morning, I acted normal. Brandon came down for breakfast. Sleep well, Mama? Yeah, slept good. I lied with a smile. You took your pills? Yeah, slept deep thanks to them. Brandon smiled. A satisfied smile. Good. You need to rest, Mama. After he left, I sat on the bed and made a decision. I could call the police. But would I have evidence? Even if they analyzed my pills. Proof that he put it there, and what if I was wrong? What if I was just paranoid? I wasn't wrong. Car brakes, sleeping pills, life insurance. The puzzle was coming together. I took out my phone and searched. Chicago Private Investigator. Clicked the first result. Harris Investigation Agency, discretion guaranteed. I made the call. Harris Investigation Agency. I need a private investigator. What's this regarding? I need to investigate my son. That afternoon, I met private investigator Marcus Harris at a small cafe. Mid-50s, gray hair, sharp eyes. I told him everything. Car brakes, sleeping pills, insurance, all of it. Mrs. Washington, this is serious. You need to call the police. I don't have evidence. Just my word. Then we need to get evidence. I'll follow him and document everything. And, he hesitated. Can I test those pills? I know a lab. I handed him the tampered sleeping pills in a Ziploc bag. The cost is $700 a week. The pill testing is separate, $300, $1,000. Almost half my pension, but cheap for my life. Do it. From that day, Marcus tailed Brandon. And I continued acting normal. Pretending I knew nothing. 3 days later, Marcus called. Mrs. Washington, we need to meet. Right now. We met at the cafe. His face was grave. The pill test results came back. He handed me an envelope. What was mixed into your sleeping pills? Is a compound of zolpidem at triple concentration. Plus benzodiazepines. This combination. Could it kill me? Not immediately. But with long-term use. It strains the heart, increases fall risk, and can cause respiratory depression. Especially at your age. Easy to disguise as an accident. Exactly. And there's more. He pulled out a tablet and showed me photos. Your son and his girlfriend. In the photos, Brandon and Crystal sat at an upscale restaurant. This was 3 days ago. Ritz-Carlton restaurant. The meal came to $450, and this was yesterday. Another photo. In front of a jewelry store. They were looking at a $20,000 diamond necklace. Didn't buy it, though. Where's he getting that kind of money? Credit cards. Almost maxed out. $45,000 in debt. Lord. But the most important thing is this. Marcus handed me wireless earbuds. Listen. It was a recording. Brandon and Crystal's conversation. Brandon, this is taking too long. Crystal, can't you give her more pills? Brandon, too much at once? And they'll get suspicious. Gotta be slow, natural. Crystal, but it's $500,000, Brandon. $500,000. With that money, we can go to LA and start fresh. Brandon, I know, but we can't rush it. Insurance companies investigate. Gotta wait at least 6 months. Crystal, why didn't the car thing work? You said you cut the brakes. Brandon, I did, but the old bat went and got it fixed. Damn. Crystal laughing, old bat. That's your mama. Brandon, won't be my mama much longer. Just $500,000. Crystal, I'm excited just thinking about it. The two of us with a beach house. Brandon, just wait a little longer. Once the pills take effect, one morning she just won't wake up. Heart attack or something. She's old, unhealthy. Everyone'll think it was natural. The recording ended. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped the earbuds. There's more. Marcus said quietly. Your son's internet search history. My hacker friend got it. Drug combinations that cause heart attacks, insurance payout. Timeline after elderly death, how to commit the perfect crime. Tears streamed down my face. The son I'd risked my life to raise. The child I'd sacrificed everything for. Was trying to kill me. For money. You going to the police? Marcus asked. I thought for a long time. No, ma'am, I want to collect more evidence. Everything. Everything he did, everything he planned. Every bit of it. Why? We already have enough. What I want isn't prison, Mr. Harris. I looked him straight in the eye. The punishment I'm giving my son is different. Living, every day, with regret. That's crueler than prison. Marcus slowly nodded. Understood. I'll keep tracking. From that day, I acted. Academy Award-worthy performance. Kept pretending to take the sleeping pills. Put them in my mouth, spit them out in the bathroom. Then told Brandon the next morning, I slept so deep last night. Brandon was pleased, thought his plan was working. Marcus kept tracking. I kept collecting evidence. February, Brandon made another suggestion. Mama, what if we put the house in my name? Why? Inheritance tax issues later. If we do it early, we can save on taxes. I'm fine for now, Brandon. His face hardened. Mama, an expert told me. When I die, it'll be yours anyway. No rush. Mama, you're 68. Anything could happen. Brandon. I looked straight at him. The house stays in my name as long as I'm alive. That night, Marcus texted me. Brandon called Crystal. The old bat won't transfer the house. Might need to go to Plan B. Got the recording. Plan B. What was that? March, I found out. Brandon suddenly became a devoted son. Came every day. Cooked dinner, helped with cleaning, did grocery shopping. Brandon, what's all this? Mama, I've just been thinking a lot lately. About how I've wronged you. That I need to be a better son. Sweet son. Loving son. Liar. One day, I deliberately asked. Brandon, the railing feels loose when I go down the stairs. Can you look at it? Sure, Mama. I'll fix it. The next day, I checked the railing. Screws were loosened. Deliberately. And on the very top. The first step I took every night going down, something was smeared on it. I touched it with my finger. It was slippery. Like oil. He wanted me to slip and fall down the stairs. That night, I called Marcus. Take photos. Everything on those stairs. Evidence kept piling up. April, Brandon's birthday was approaching. May 14th. Marcus compiled all the evidence from the past 4 months. Tampered sleeping pill test results. Car brake cutting photos, mechanic shop CCTV. Stairway railing tampering evidence. 12 recordings of Brandon and Crystal's conversations. Insurance-related search history. Spending records, Crystal's designer bags, luxury hotels. LA real estate searches. This could get him life in prison, Marcus said. Not yet, I replied. Need one more thing. What? A confession. May 13th, the day before Brandon's birthday. I bought expensive wine. Argentinian Malbec. $54. The kind William used to drink occasionally when he was alive. Carefully wrapped it and wrote a card. To my son Brandon. You are my everything. Love you, Mama. 6 p.m., I went to Brandon's apartment. Crystal was there too. Mama, didn't know you were coming. Brandon said, surprised. Tomorrow's your birthday, baby. Wanted to give you your gift early. I handed him the wine. He took it, expressionless. Thanks, Mama. I walked into the living room. New TV, new furniture, expensive decorations. Wow, you fixed up the place nice, I said. Oh, yeah. Brandon glanced at Crystal. Brandon's got good taste, right? Crystal smiled. Fake smile. I sat on the couch. They sat too. So, I started. What are you two planning? Brandon. Yeah, the future. Marriage, things like that. Crystal took Brandon's hand. Still thinking about it, Mrs. Washington. But I think there'll be big changes soon. She smiled meaningfully. Big changes? Yeah, good things. We'll tell you soon. Silence. Then I dropped the bomb. Brandon, can Mama ask you something? Sure, Mama. You know what you get when Mama dies? His face froze for a moment. Mama, why you talking about that all of a sudden? Just curious, baby. I'm getting up in age. Need to get my affairs in order. The house and $500,000, I said. Life insurance. $500,000, right? Crystal looked at Brandon. Brandon smiled bitterly. Yeah, that's right. You're the one who got it, Mama. Because you suggested it. I looked straight at him. In December. Remember? Yeah? Brandon, I leaned forward. Answer me honestly. What do you want most from Mama? What's the best gift Mama could give you? The room went quiet. Brandon looked at Crystal. Crystal nodded. And Brandon said it. Honestly, Mama? Yeah, honestly. He laughed. Coldly. Your death. Crystal laughed too. My heart froze. I knew it was coming, but hearing it directly was different. My death? Yeah, honestly. Brandon leaned forward. You don't have nothing left to do, Mama. You're old, sick, broke. But when you die, I get $500,000. With that money, I can finally start my life right. Brandon, you'd be comfortable too, Mama. No more struggling. No more pain. Just peacefully go. You serious? Completely? Crystal cut in. Mrs. Washington, think about it practically. Your life is basically over. But Brandon's life is just starting, and you're holding him back. My hands trembled. So what did you do? Brandon smiled. Mama, you noticed? Noticed what? The sleeping pills. I mixed a little something in. Help you sleep better. That was to kill me, not to kill, exactly. He said it so casually. Just put strain on the heart. At your age, if you have a heart attack, it wouldn't be strange. Natural, you know? The car brakes? Oh, you figured that out too? Yeah, I did that. But you went to the mechanic. He clicked his tongue. That was disappointing. The stairs too? Stairs? He laughed. Oh, the railing and the oil? Yeah, that was me too. But you were careful. Crystal giggled. You're tough, Mrs. Washington. I stood up. Where you going, Mama? Brandon. I reached into my purse. Pulled out something. My phone. Showed them the screen. Recording, it said. 44 minutes 12 seconds. Brandon's face went white as a sheet. What? Mama. 6 months. I said quietly. I've known for 6 months. What you were planning. What you were putting in my pills. That you cut my car brakes. I knew everything. Mama. I hired a private investigator. Marcus Harris. Every conversation you had with Crystal is recorded. Everything you searched on the internet is documented. Drugs that cause heart attacks, perfect crime, all of it. Crystal jumped up. You crazy. Sit down. My voice was ice. Police are waiting outside. You run, it'll only be worse for you. It was a lie. No police. But they believed it. Brandon dropped to his knees. Mama, please. I was crazy. Crystal made me do it. What? Crystal screamed. You told me to. You kept talking about the $500,000, they started fighting. Blaming each other. I watched them. The son I'd risked my life to raise. Now on his knees like vermin, making excuses. Mama, please. I was wrong. So wrong. I'll never do it again. The police. Please. Get up, I said. Mama. I said get up. Brandon stood up. Tears and snot everywhere. There's no police, I said. What? Didn't call them. Won't call them. Mama. Then. Prison's too easy for you, Brandon. I walked closer to him. You're getting something else. What? What? Starting today, you're dead. Legally, socially, and in my heart. What do you? Tomorrow morning, my lawyer will send all the papers. Notice of disinheritance. You won't get a penny from me. Changed the life insurance beneficiary to charity. This apartment rent that I co-signed that's getting revoked tomorrow. Your credit cards that I co-signed all cancelled. Mama, then all. You're alone. Completely. With $45,000 in debt. Mama, no, and all this evidence. I shook the phone. Stored in my lawyer's safe. If I suddenly die, it automatically goes to the police. So don't even think about touching me again. Mama, tomorrow I'm leaving this city. You won't know where I'm going. Don't try to find me. The day you find me is the day you go to prison. Crystal ran for the door. I didn't stop her. Run. But the police have your information too. As an accomplice. She stopped. Don't come looking for Brandon. You're both done. Crystal glared at Brandon. This is all your fault. She screamed and left. Just Brandon and me. My son. My baby. The child I held in my arms, rocked to sleep, drove to school. Comforted when he cried. Mama. He whispered. I'm so sorry. I was insane. Please, just one more chance. Brandon. I looked at his face one last time. You wanted me dead. You got your wish. I am dead. To you. Starting today. I walked to the door. Mama, I didn't look back. Mama, please, I went down the stairs. Mama, come back. Mama walked out of the building. His screams got quieter. I got in my car. Started the engine. Newly fixed brakes. Safe brakes. And I drove away. Tears fell. But this time, they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of liberation. The next day, lawyer Atticus Sterling sent all the documents. Disinheritance notice with evidence attached. Insurance beneficiary changed to St. Jude Children's Hospital. All co-signed contract termination notices. Restraining order warning. That afternoon, I sold my house. Quick sale, but got a fair price. With that money, I bought a small house in Hilton Head, South Carolina. 1 bedroom, small porch with ocean view, a garden. On moving day, my phone had over 100 calls. Brandon. I didn't answer. Hundreds of texts too. Mama, please. Forgive me. I'm about to be on the street. I'll die without you, Mama. Please, just once. I blocked him. When I got to Hilton Head, I took my first real breath. Ocean smell. Warm breeze. Peace. That night, I sat on my little porch and drank wine. That Malbec I'd given Brandon. Ended up drinking it myself. I laughed bitterly. The next day, my new life started. I wake up at 6 a.m. Make coffee. Sit on the porch and watch the sun rise. The ocean turns orange. Seagulls cry. Sound of waves. Peace. I tend my garden. Tomatoes, peppers, herbs. With my own hands. My neighbors are good people. Mr. Joe, retired fisherman, lives 2 houses down, sometimes shares his catch. Loretta, caught some bass today. Take one. Thank you, Joe. I baked lemon cake, I'll bring you some later. That became my life. Simple, quiet, peaceful. Brandon kept trying to contact me. Emails, letters, even showed up here once. I didn't open the door. Looked through the window. He was gaunt, had dark circles, clothes were ragged. Mama, I know you're in there. Please open the door. Go away, Brandon. I'm calling the police. Mama, please. I was so wrong. Please, leave. He cried at my door for 30 minutes. Then left. Never came back. Marcus occasionally sent me updates. I'd asked him to let me know how Brandon was doing. Crystal left. Soon as the money dried up. Found another man. Brandon got a job. Fast food restaurant. $12 an hour. Lives in a small studio. Sharing with 2 other people. Spending most of his paycheck paying off credit card debt. All his friends left. They had no interest in a broke Brandon. He's alone. Completely. One part of me, a very small part, the part that once held him in my arms, feels pity. But the bigger part, the woman he tried to kill, knows this is justice. He wanted my death. To live comfortably. Now he's alive. But not comfortable. Every morning, he wakes up and looks in the mirror. He'll remember what he did. That he tried to kill his mother. And he'll live with that guilt and regret for the rest of his life. Crueler than prison. Today, 6 months after everything, I'm doing well in Hilton Head. Healthy, happy, peaceful. My knee still hurts, but I live at my own pace. I started volunteering at the local hospital. Twice a week, talking with patients. Made new friends. Real friends. People who like me, not my money. Joined a book club. We meet every Tuesday evening. Learning yoga too. Late to start at 68, but I'm doing it anyway. And every morning, sitting on my porch with coffee, I'm grateful to be alive. The death my son wanted never came. What came instead was my liberation. Sometimes I think if William had lived, would Brandon have turned out different? Maybe, or maybe not. I think about my mistakes. That I gave too much. Demanded too little. Confused love with money. Raising a child isn't about giving them everything. It's about teaching the right values. How to say no. How to be grateful. How to earn through hard work. I gave Brandon money, but I didn't teach him those things. That was my failure. But now, at 68, I've learned. Late, but I learned. And now, the rest of my life is mine. Not Brandon's, not guilt's, not fears. Only mine. Yesterday, a neighbor kid was learning to ride a bike. Falling, getting up, falling again. His mama was cheering him on. Get up, baby. You're doing great. You can do it. The kid smiled and got up again. Watching that, I thought. I fell too. Many times in my 68 years. But I got back up. And now, I'm riding. Free. If you're listening to this story and you're in a similar situation, know this. You're not alone. And you have the right to leave. Blood doesn't excuse abuse. Being old doesn't mean you can't start over. I started over at 68. And this is the happiest time of my life. Brandon wanted my death. But he's the one who died. Legally, socially, and in my heart. In me? For the first time, I'm really living. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to my story. If this touched you in any way, please take care of your own heart. And remember, it's never too late to start again. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for letting me share my story with you. If you liked it, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Let's see how many of us there are. Write in the comments what city you're watching from and what time it is. I'm so curious to know where all you wonderful people are tuning in from. If you want to support me a little extra, you can send a small donation too. I share new life stories with you every single day. Now 2 of my most popular stories will pop up on the screen so you can choose what to watch next.